Greetings, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in today. It is Rashida Strober. I am the world's first and only dark skinned activist. Not only am I the world's first and only dark skinned activist, I'm actually the creator, the originator, the architect, the designer of the very first platform in history ever created for the eradication of colorism and darkism. And it's called dark skin discrimination, or I'm sorry, dark skin activism. I created the lane before anybody ever talked about it. And unfortunately, people mocked me and then they stole from me. They plagiarized my work. People like to tell the lie that there was a platform for dark skin and colorism before me, and it's not true. It is absolutely not true. Just because you talked about colorism briefly does not mean you started the platform. That doesn't count. I am the very first person in recorded history to actually create a platform, which is different from talking about it briefly or speaking about it briefly to your friends or your family. That has nothing to do with the actual creation of the platform. I created that. No one else can take credit for that. And I'm here because I'm alive. And unlike Malik B, who I feel really bad about, and this video is semi-inspired by Jaguar Wright and Malik B. She brought up Malik B, who just passed away, who was a founding member of the Roots and never got like his credit while he was alive. I'm still here, and I'm going to tell you that I created this. I'm going to let everybody know I'm not going to stop speaking the truth. No matter how many people are dishonest, I created this platform which no other person cared to speak on until they saw me do it. And then they took from my platform and never gave credit. That's the problem. And so Malik B's passing has inspired me to talk about other people who have created something very unique. And then other people came along, saw it, didn't want to give them credit, wanted to take it for themselves and pass it off as their own. And it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. It's never going to be right. This is my book, Token Dark Girl. And if you want to get my book, if you go to my Cash App, which is $Rashida Lala. Once again, my Cash App is $Rashida Lala. The books are $40. I will send you an autographed copy of this book, Token Dark Girl. Now, this book is important because I am the first person to write books exclusively and only on dark skin. Nobody else has done that. I created this entire lane from scratch. It's my brainchild. And all people are doing now is just copying and ripping me off, not giving credit. Token Dark Girl is my latest book. The other books I wrote is How to Be the Hottest Dark Skinned Chick on the Planet. Another book I wrote is A Dark Skinned Woman's Revenge. Another book I wrote is Darkism, 25 Ways Dark Skinned People Are Discriminated Against. Another book I wrote is A Dark Skinned Girl's Triumph, the Rashida Strober Story. So, I kind of got this book up here to just kind of let you know that I created this lane, and this is just, no one else has done what I've done, but I'm not getting my credit. Like Malik B, he didn't get his credit while he was alive. And then people started talking about this man and saying he was the greatest this, and he's the greatest. And it's just so horrific and terrible that people would do that to a person. I don't understand how someone else could just do a person like that. So I want to say, before I even continue, rest in peace, Malik B. And I'm sorry that I didn't know who you was. Because I sure would have recognized you. Because that's how I am. I'll always tell the truth and let people know, hey, this person originated this. This is where this came from. I wish I would have knew. And Jaguar Wright, I want to say thank you, Jaguar Wright, for making me aware of Malik B, because I didn't know who he was. And I also want to say Jaguar Wright, y'all, if you don't know who Jaguar Wright is, Please go and YouTube one of my favorite songs, and this might be one of y'all favorite songs too. It's called Song Cry, Jay-Z. Please go YouTube Song Cry, Jay-Z. That song is it's in my top 100 favorite songs of all time. And you know what? Jay-Z, he kind of did the darkism thing there once he became real famous. But I know that the darker girls are the ones that blew him up, from Foxy Brown to Jaguar Wright. Like, I didn't even know that was Jaguar Wright. Please, it's called Song Cry. It came out in 2001, and she's singing the hook, and she be like, y'all, I'm a bad singer. But she come on there with this beautiful melodic phrasing, the way she sings it. She be like, did you ever know the possibilities? Sounds like a love song. Sounds like a love song. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I can't sing as good as Jaguar. Man, let me tell you something. That is one of the most brilliant hooks I've ever heard in my life. All right? I didn't even know that was Jaguar Wright. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God, I love that song. Like, I feel like Jay-Z, he got some darkism going on and stuff, you know. But that song right there it's I'm telling you, man, I don't even have no words for how Jaguar Wright's singing that hook makes the song. Don't get me wrong, Jay-Z sounds great, but her singing touches my very soul. Please go and pay tribute to Jaguar Wright by YouTubing Song Cry and just shout her out and listen to it, and you will understand. I did not know that was for her. And I've been loving this song for like literally from the day I heard it. And I had no idea it was Jaguar Wright and it was her. And she's like, oh man, that song right there is like so dope, so brilliant, so wonderful. You know what I'm saying? So I want y'all to make sure y'all go and YouTube it. Okay, so let the dark skin activist, the creator of dark skin activism since 1998, let me get into the meat of this live. This live is about Dr. Joanne Cornwell, and this video is inspired by the late Malik B, founder of The Roots, and thank you to Jaguar Wright for making me aware of him. And in the spirit of any African American that has been stolen from and plagiarized, this is for you as well. Now, let me say from the outset, I don't speak for Dr. Joanne Cornwell. These are not her views. These are my points of view, and this is how I feel about it. Let me preface this with saying, back in 2004, I took the Sisterlocks class to learn how to do Sisterlocks. This was before the internet. Okay? Before the internet, let's be clear. There was no YouTube. There was no social media. I took Dr. Joanne Cornwell's class in 2004. And I took her class after getting my own hair sisterlocked in around, it was 2004 as well, because I had got my hair done earlier that year. And then I wanted to learn how to do it because my reasoning for it was, I said, if I ever have a little girl, I'm going to put Sisterlocks in her hair. And how did I learn about Sisterlocks? I had actually learned about Sisterlocks through my aunt. And she learned about Sisterlocks through this lady that, may she rest in peace, in St. Petersburg. It used to be called Anako Nappy, like way back in like 99, 2000, when they was been up on game. And my aunt saw this lady walking around with these beautiful hair, like these little teeny tiny locks. But they were like small and stylable and almost looked like it was straight hair. And so my aunt asked, what is that? And the lady told her what they were, and they started talking, and she said, why don't you come for a consultation and we could talk about this more? And so my aunt took me with her to the consultation. Now, this was in probably like 2000. It took me a while to get the Sisterlocks because, they do cost some money. But I went to the consultation and I was in awe. And I was like, oh my God. I watched, they let you watch a video, Dr. Joanne Cornwell. If you don't know who she is, make sure you Google her. She was teaching, you know, on the video and explaining what Sisterlocks was and how she came up with it. And you went through this consultation where they showed you the video and they discussed with you in detail what Sisterlocks was. They showed you a bunch of pictures and answered your questions. And I was hooked. Okay? From that day on, I was hooked. Understand? And I said to myself, I got to get Sisterlocks. But it was a lot of money. I think it's gotten to be more money now. Back then, I think the most that one would have to pay was like around maybe $700-800. So in 2004, I finally got up enough money and I paid $650 to get my hair done by a person over in Tampa. And I told the lady, I said, I want the real small locks so that when they mature, they're teeny, teeny, tiny and super stylable and neat looking and they're not all fat. Now, the thing about Sisterlocks that I discovered is that when you first do Sisterlocks, they're very tiny and small, but as they mature, they grow out fatter. And so you have to do them in certain sizes. You do them in they're small, medium, and large. And the larger you do it when you're first installing it, they call it installing it when you're putting the Sisterlocks in your head, the larger it's going to be when it matures. And I didn't want it to be large. I wanted it to be small. So when my Sisterlocks matured after about maybe 6 months, they were like big. And I was like, oh my God. I told this lady I wanted my hair like in the micro locks and she didn't do it. And I was so upset by it. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to take the Sisterlocks class. And in 2004, I flew out to Detroit, Michigan. And at the time I was dating a dark-skinned Ghanaian. And he flew out there with me. And there was a class that took place for about 4 days. And I learned how to do Sisterlocks. And I still have the materials to this day from that class. And I'm so glad I learned how to do it because it served me well because I was able to put the Sisterlocks in my daughter's hair. And let me tell you, it's not cheap to put Sisterlocks in a kid's hair or an adult's hair. So I was able, because I picked up that skill years later, years on down the line, I was able to utilize that skill from, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 8 years later, actually, I put it in her hair in 2016. So that's 2012, 13, 14, 15, 6. I'm sorry, 2004. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that's like 12 years later, I was able to get my money's worth by putting into my child's hair and making her self-esteem so high because her hair is so beautiful. And compliments everywhere we go. People even be asking me, who did her hair? And they find out I did it and they want me to do it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't do Sisterlocks no more. Because I don't. But it was money well spent because I don't have to worry about my kid ever having a bad day. And I'm very grateful for that. So, having taken the Sisterlocks course and going through the legal ramifications of it, where you have to, sign off on paperwork and you're learning their technique and you're paying to learn it, I have an immense amount of respect for Dr. Joanne Cornwell and the technique that she created. So fast forward to the internet coming into the picture. Now, mind you, there was no social media when she created this back in the early 90s. I'm sorry, I believe around the late 90s. But now you got people that are so disrespectful that are coming online. And I think that some of them might be upset because maybe they see the Sisterlocks, the real Sisterlocks. And they want them, but they can't, for whatever reason, they may not be able to afford them. Or whatever the case may be, that I don't know. They come on to social media and they put out false information. Like some people even will create their own version of what maybe looks like Sisterlocks and they'll call them Sisterlocks. And I'm like, wait a minute, y'all misleading people. Those are not Sisterlocks. Sisterlocks is patented. It's trademark. Dr. Joanne Cornwell is the creator of it. She owns it. And with the advent of the internet, I just am so disgusted and disappointed by people that come on and they'll call their Sisterlocks, I'm sorry, their small locks or micro locks, Sisterlocks. And it's not. If you don't use a certain tool and a certain locking pattern and a certain grid, and you haven't taken the Sisterlock course, that's the only way you're going to know it, unless a Sisterloctician teaches somebody, which we are not supposed to do. So the only way you're going to know that is if you've taken a Sisterlock class. You cannot call your locks Sisterlocks. Okay? Let's be clear. Unless you've taken the class, got the certification, paid the money for the class, you cannot call your locks Sisterlocks. They're not. I know what Sisterlocks are because I've taken a class. I paid the money to get the certification. I know what. You can't even get the locking tool. There's a patented special tool that no one will have access to unless there's two ways. You've taken the class, paid the money, taken the class, or you are a person that has Sisterlocks and you've taken the class to learn how to retighten your own Sisterlocks. Everything else, it's not Sisterlocks. And it's just so completely and utterly disrespectful to see people come on the internet and claim or use the word Sisterlocks when they have not taken the class or when they have not had their hair installed by a certified Sisterloctician. You cannot legally call your hair Sisterlocks. It's not. And this is coming from a person that actually took the Sisterlock class. I know what I'm talking about. Y'all can do your own research on it. Do your own research. You will find out what I'm saying is true. And it's just it seems to me Dr. Joanne Cornwell never says anything about this, even though I see all kinds of videos all over the internet with people creating all kinds of knockoff Sisterlocks, just like people have created knockoff dark skin activists. You're not even the original. You didn't create it. You didn't make it. But the same thing, people love my work so much, talking about this dark skin, that they create knockoffs, lesser versions, fakes. Same thing with Sisterlocks. And when I see it, because I've taken the class, I can tell that it's not Sisterlocks. Nobody can fool me because I know what Sisterlocks looks like. Because number one, I had them in my head before by a certified Sisterloctician, and I actually took the class. So yeah, I just wish that people would not disrespect Black women that have worked so hard to create something. And then turn around, they see that it's so good, and they be wishing so bad that they would have been the brainchild behind it. But instead of them being ethical, they don't care. They'll go and try to create knockoff versions of it and don't want to give the person that actually is the brains, the brilliance behind it, the credit. It's so sickening to me. And I see this happening over and over and over again, especially when a Black person creates something. It's a form of darkism for other people to take from that original creation. And you know that you're not the brainchild of it. There's so much jealousy and envy. That's why people can't give acknowledgement. That's another thing I want to say. There's so much jealousy and envy. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Only a secure person would say, well, you know, Rashida Strober is actually the creator of this, and I got this from her. I studied her. I've been watching her for years. It'll take a secure individual to say that. But most people are not secure in themselves. There's so much envy and jealousy. And I suspect that that's the case. Although people aren't going to say it, of course, they're not going to admit to being jealous and envious. There's a lot of jealousy and envy with the Sisterlocks brand because people know that Dr. Cornwell created a beautiful hairstyle. And if you look at her hair, oh my God, drop dead gorgeous. When I tell you her hair is drop dead gorgeous, man. And it's jealousy and envy. People want what she has. So what do? They go steal. They go create knockoff versions. Same thing that happens to me. People want my brains. They want to be the brains behind all the books that I've written. They want to say I created dark skin activism. They want to say I was the first to care about dark skin and colorism and I created the lane. But they could never say that. They never have that legitimacy. And that envy and that jealousness drives them to simply plagiarize. That's just the bottom line. It ain't even no other way to say it. So I'm just pointing out these patterns that I see. But there's only one Sisterlock brand. Okay, let's be clear. It's a lot of frauds running around here saying that they are wearing Sisterlocks and they are jealous. Jealousy is a part of it. I'm not going to say that's the only thing. There's all kinds of different motivations behind it. But what I will say is that it is wrong to take and steal from another black person. We already have had so much stuff taken and stolen from us. And just to come along just because a person has a larger platform. And now we got YouTube now and social media now. So some of these people have large platforms, whereas I don't even think Dr. Joanne Cornwell is really, really onto social media like that because she started her stuff from a grassroots, just like how I did. It came from her heart. This woman was genuinely looking for a hairstyle that was pretty and convenient for black women. She did it from her heart and soul. Whereas these people are doing it from a place of malice and envy-heartedness, not from their heart and soul. They looking at it, not considering the blood, sweat, and tears that she put into it, her money that she put. Same thing with dark skin activism. They don't care that I started my dark skin activism from my heart and soul and experience in 1998, and that no other dark skin person. People always holler about, well, other dark skin people can talk about it. Well, why didn't they care to do it before I did it? Always have to ask that question. The bottom line is they didn't do it before I did it. So all of a sudden now you care so much. Now you care because I introduced it, because I made it an issue. And now, instead of telling the truth about Rashida Strober being the sole creator and making an issue, all you want to do is steal. Same thing going on with Dr. Joanne Cornwell. Same thing that happened to our brother Malik B. And I could point out many others. I'm just speaking on these individuals because these are the examples that I have been inspired by and that have been most came to my mind recently. But it's wrong. You're not Dr. Joanne Cornwell. You never will be. You can't change the fact that she created the technique. There's not going to be another Malik B. His talent is his talent. No one can change that. And there's definitely only one dark skin activist. You can't go back in time and become the founder of the first platform in history for dark skin. It's not you. That's not what God gave you to do. God gave that to me. God didn't give it to you to create Sisterlocks. God gave it to Dr. Joanne Cornwell. So I'm just saying, stop going around making pseudo fake Sisterlocks and then trying to pass it off as Sisterlocks when it's not. That's wrong. It's terrible. Once again, guys, if you want to get a copy of my book that you see in right before you right now, it's called Token Dark Girl, the It Dark Girl of the Moment. You can Cash App me. My Cash App is $Rashida Lala. You can Cash App me to purchase your copy, and it's $40. All of my books are $40 if you buy them directly from me. Meaning, if you go to Cash App, pay your $40, and I'll send you an a copy like the one you see here, an autographed copy of my book, Token Dark Girl. Now, the other books that are $40 is The Dark Skinned Woman's Revenge. The other book is Darkism. And those are the books I have available right now. So I highly encourage you to support my work. My website, darkskinactivist.com. And I want to thank y'all for watching, and just be mindful. A lot of creators have been done wrong, especially the black creators. People have just ripped us off left and right. And it is a form of what I call in my book, Darkism, 25 Ways Dark-Skinned People Are Discriminated Against. I call it systemic economic darkism. When you take the creation of a black person that they genuinely created, and you take it and you know that it's not yours. You know you didn't create it. But you say, hey, I got a big platform over here. You know, I've got this big platform, and I'm going to just go take it. And I'm going to make everybody believe that it's mine. Another example that I want to give to y'all, submit to y'all, is Madam C.J. Walker and Annie Malone. Okay? If you do your research, you'll find out that Madam C.J. Walker actually ripped Annie Malone off. And it's a real disappointing thing to me, because when I was growing up, I drank the Kool-Aid that Madam C.J. Walker was the first black female millionaire and she created all this stuff, when in fact none of that is true. She actually was a student of Annie Malone, who was a black female millionaire before she was, and was the real founder of the hair care community. It was Annie Malone. But yet, people have done a great job of presenting the fraudulent view that it's Madam C.J. Walker, and it's not. That's why I wouldn't go see the movie. I did not go see that movie. Knowing what I know, which is the truth, I wanted to honor Annie Malone by not watching that movie. It's such a miscarriage of history and a disrespect to Annie Malone's legacy to do her like that. But God had Annie Malone, because Annie Malone lived to be in her 90s, I believe. She lived a long life. And, it's just wrong. So I can't support people that take from other people. I will never, ever, ever support it. Again, guys, if you want to get Token Dark Girl, the It Dark Girl of the Moment, which is the first book to expound upon and analyze dark-skinned women in popular culture. No one else has done this before me. I got to take credit for my work. Everybody else, they trying to assign credit to all these other people. And I'm here alive and well and kicking right now. God give me the strength, and I'm here to tell you that I am the creator, and people have actually ripped me off. All facts. So I want to thank y'all for taking the time to watch. Yes, constructive alignment. You said that's so wrong. We steal and plagiarize from each other. Absolutely. It's horrific. It's horrific. So that's my Sisterlock rant today. I love Sisterlocks. Hopefully I'll be getting some Sisterlocks in my head that I will attempt to put in my head. And when I say attempt, I already told you guys I already took the class and I know how to do Sisterlocks myself. But when I say attempt, I don't want to do, just because I know how to do Sisterlocks and I took the class, I don't want to do Sisterlocks myself, because it's labor intensive. And it's going to take me a long time to do my own hair, especially given the fact that I want my Sisterlocks to be like super, super small. So it's going to take a long time. Like, It ain't gonna be something that's gonna be like even a week or two. It's gonna take a long time. But guys, I want to thank y'all for listening, and do some research on Dr. Joanne Cornwell, honor her, and also do some research on Malik B and honor him. Honor Malik B for his contribution and his talent, and may Malik B rest in peace. World's first and only dark-skinned activist, the creator, the inventor, the designer, the architect of the very first platform in history for dark skin, the very first platform in history for the eradication of colorism and darkism, Rashida Strober.